Yeah.
What did the Attorney General did? He settled out of court. And that matter was given on a platter, and BK should have paid back that money. He settled out of court.
Okay.
One. Secondly, you had this situation with DDL and the consumption tax. Right? Okay? That
Yes.
matter was given to him on a platter.
Okay.
He settled out of court with DDL.
Okay.
Third, you had this matter with Rhodesia, right? That drink company from Suriname.
Okay.
Right? He settled out of court with Rhodesia. Now, what he has done, technically speaking, if Bank Zayed wants to be vindictive, right? And to really and truly ask for a level playing field, is Bank Zayed now should now sue the government,
Yes.
right? Sue the government, and because of our Attorney General, he would be exposing the Treasury to a phenomenal amount of money.
Okay.
Is this what you? When the guy said that people don't have confidence in him, I brought to you 3 situations where the Attorney General screwed up. Now that's one. The second thing is that it was not correct to say that the Attorney General went to the Caribbean Court of Justice, right, to win a case. That was not so. If you can recall, right, the Attorney General surrounds himself with 5 other legal personnel, right, that the taxpayers of this country is paying for. And it is so sad that he has never won a case, except that case, right, okay, with Jabneo and the third term situation. And guess what? I am questioning that because the sovereignty lies in the people of a country, not in a party, in the people of a country, right? I further say no more.
Well, thank you very much. Chairman, what is your response?
I don't know if the caller
Yes.
is a legal person.
Yes.
And so I don't know why he's accusing the Attorney General,
Okay.
of being handed a case on a platter. I don't know if he know the particular of the case. The Attorney General would not have gone and say, I'm going to settle a matter. It has to be presented to the Cabinet. It's not the Attorney General decision to say, I settle it with anyone. He would present the case to the Cabinet. It would be the Cabinet that would say, I agree with your position to settle. So you don't know what may be the situation. You mentioned DDL. You know the PPP, Jagdier wanted to just close down DDL. Close them down. Using that court matter. Basically, he said, what? You got to pay me how many billions of dollars? That company will have to be closed. A number of people will have to be out of a job. And so these are the considerations that the call don't know about, and it didn't even know about the consideration in relation to the BK matters.
Okay.
And the BK issue and the other matters that you're speaking about. So maybe the Attorney General, if he so wishes, may want to, I don't know if he want to make public statements and what a call on this program he want to say, because, these matters was discussed at length. And maybe the caller need to do some research. Maybe somewhere in some archive, in some newspaper, there may be an explanation by the AG. But I didn't come here to prepare to defend the AG. I'm not even a counsel. And so, I'm thinking that the caller negative comments was, politically motivated against our Attorney General, Minister of Legal Affairs.
Mr. Green, what's on for your comment?
There's a broader dimension.
Yes.
My personal experience,
Yeah.
and that of many Guyanese, is that the courts are woefully slow.
Okay.
Justice is being denied because of slowness. And a settlement out of court is accepted by both sides as the shortest and best route to go. The modalities is another matter. But even the judges admit, as one did to me last week, that to go to trial is going to be a long, burdensome process.
Yes.
So if the AG decides, with Cabinet's approval, as Jaipal has said, to settle out of court, that's often the best way.
Okay.
Even if you settle out of court for, say, 10 cents, and you spend 3 cents to settle out of court, if you went to court, you may spend 7 cents in time and energy being wasted. So the route these days is to find a modus vivendi and to settle out of court.
Caller, hello? Hello?
Good afternoon, Mr. Sharma.
Yes, good afternoon.
the confidence that the man is speaking about to the people, Mr. Jaipal Sharma is an example. He's a junior minister. He should be in position in front of some of the ministers who is incompetent. But he's a quiet individual. He takes his position, he sits there. And he's fully competent in front of a lot of the ministers in there. There's no doubt about that. You understand?
Yeah.
And so when the confidence that he's speaking about in terms of the people, people have confidence in Mr. Jaipal Sharma. And these other ministers that get in the position them, he is a junior minister, as the man is saying. I call out Orly, Mr. Green, the junior minister. They have ever had any junior minister in the past before? He shouldn't be no junior minister. He should be a head minister. Thank you.
Mr. Green, want to say your fair comment?
Those views are shared by many of us.
Yes, yes.
But we're
Yeah.
in a very complex situation.
Okay.
We have there's 5 parties we're dealing with.
Yeah.
That's the problem. I've said on this program, and I call the name of certain ministers should not have been here at all.
Okay.
And I make no apologies.
Okay.
You know.
Call you on the air. Hello?
That's Mr. Sharma.
Yes.
I just want to clarify something.
Yes.
Right? Mr. Green talked about Jaipal,
Yes.
right? About the people. When I talk about the people, right? If you have, we don't know that half of this country is against the Attorney General, the PPP. And if the supporters of this country now are speaking and saying that they have no confidence in Mr. Williams, so I don't know what you are telling me, you know.
Okay.
The two food being eaten, the whole country don't have confidence in him now. And you are still sitting there wanting to support what he's doing. Half of the country already, we know, don't support what he's doing.
How you know that? How you know that? How you know
Go
that?
on the road, go around the corner, you go, people saying, Mr. Sharma,
Oh.
you are living in denial, you know.
Okay.
This is your own supporters now saying this man's a waste of time. Who do you really?
So are you
know?
our supporter? Are you a supporter of this government? You know, what the caller said is that about half or more than half of the people is against this Attorney General, Basil Williams. The Honorable Basil Williams.
Yeah.
But he's saying this half is not the government half, it's the opposition half. So why the opposition half going to want a strong Attorney General? I will want to agree with this caller that my Attorney General is weak because he's not going after the PPP. So why would the PPP want a strong Attorney General? I would want my Attorney General to go after the former president
Yeah.
for his violation, the former ministers of this government for the violation they had done for the 23 years in government.
Yeah.
So I can't understand why the PPP gonna want a strong Attorney General. We need a strong Attorney General who will advise the legal bodies in this country, the government, and so on, and give guidance on how to go about prosecuting the former government in a civil way, because the Attorney General could do civil prosecution.
Okay. Call you. Hello?
Mr. Sharma.
Yes. Go ahead, please.
So I believe the PPP happy if this Attorney General is indeed weak, they're happy with him.
Call you. Hello? Good afternoon.
Yeah, well, when Judge William do something to the country, like the Attorney General when it came, he was up on TV all day, all night, people must.
Yeah, hearing him.
I hear you. Speak up a little more loud, please.
You know what I'm saying? So why is the Attorney General who we get now?
I'm going to take it out of here. Please, I keep
We
speaking
can't hear
louder.
you.
Hello?
The Attorney General, when I get
That's right. Yes.
When he went a case, why Mr. Gupta into the same thing? Put it on for the TV, let the public get to see what's going on.
Okay.
So people can stop and
Okay.
see what's going on.
Okay. Thank you very much.
I would suggest,
Yes.
and I will speak to Attorney General, to come on this program
Yeah.
and let those persons call with specifics.
That's right. That's right.
I'm sure Mr. Williams has the capacity and I believe the willingness
Yes.
to speak for himself.
That's right.
You know, I must congratulate the AG office also again, because recently you would know that they won the case against the commercial bank that didn't want to supply information in relation to accounts that they held or persons in relation to money laundering activity. And so now the Special Organized Crime Unit will be going forward with most of those investigations because, again, it's the AG office. With the guidance of the AG, whether it be successful in winning that case, of course, the two judges, of course, contributed in understanding the arguments.
Calling in here, Andy. Hello?
Hi, good day.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes?
I would like to ask both Mr. Sharma, Minister, and Mr. Green,
Yes.
why it is the government of Ghana is not passing hemp. Hemp will do so much for Guyana.
Yes.
And we are only talking when other countries are going ahead and making millions.
Okay.
Why we are not passing hemp?
Okay.
That is the answer for Ghana. We will make more money in time
Okay.
than we waited for oil in 2020.
Okay.
A lot of talks.
Okay.
Industrial hemp is not marijuana.
Okay.
And I'm saying that the government should take a serious look and pass hemp.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yes, well, look, I personally support
Yes,
it.
yes.
The Just for All Party supports it,
yes.
but it's not just a simple thing as just you're going to say you're going to go with hemp, because you have to have legislation, you have to have regulations in place, because people could use it. As you know, it is not a substance that can get you high or things of that nature. It's a product, a manufacturing product, that you could get a number of items from, that you could manufacture things from. So it's a very important plant. Everything from the plant is useful. But the issue is so closely related to the marijuana that persons, I don't want to accuse persons, could want to plant marijuana in the plantation where they cultivate in hemp.
Okay.
And so you have to have greater policing. So in Canada and so where it is allowed, they have regulations that ensure that they will test the product,
Yeah.
so the THC level is below 0.03% THC.
Okay.
So you could imagine, and you know Guyanese people, they could find ways of doing things, right? So you could bring out the best, and they're going to find a way how to break the rules and to be undetected. Guyanese, look, recently Canada pulled in a vessel. In the vessel, in the front of the vessel, there was inside a double layer in the hull where they put cocaine. An Indian woman is being questioned on the East Coast, right in Guyana here in relation to that matter. I don't know if the police found the woman. But this is how, inventive they are in solving things. You could bring in meters in terms of to monitor electrical theft, electricity theft, and things like that. Now, you have smart meters. The people beating that too. Guyanese are known in the United States to beat every single thing the United States government may want to put in place. You think they wouldn't find a way to use hemp as an excuse to cultivate marijuana, and it could be undetected? So it have to be carefully studied. It's not just say, okay, go ahead and plant hemp, but to ensure that it's properly regulated and supervised. In Jamaica, that use a lot of marijuana, have medical marijuana, the program could not, although the city legalized it, could not be implemented because of the fear of what could be the spin-off. So yes, well, when the city legalized it, the persons that applying to cultivate the marijuana, the medical marijuana, had to go through a lengthy scrutiny. So it's easy to talk, but you have to consider every single thing.
President, what do you want to hemp?
Paul is right.
Yes.
Even in the great United States, some states look askance at the whole question.
Okay.
I was in Texas recently, and some of the physicians and medical people don't want to hear the name.
Yeah.
They don't want to mention it.
That's right.
Yet in other states, it's being cultivated.
That's right.
And the research is ongoing, and we've got to examine human weaknesses and not just say, get it done. Because the government has other priorities. And the person who called in must know that work has started. I attended a conference at St. Stanislaus College some months ago, where people came in from CARICOM and international communities, and they're getting the views The Rasta people, very Saul people were there,
Yeah.
very vocal. So the matter is being examined, whether you decriminalize it or whether you legalize it. You know, these are, Jai Paul is right. It's not a matter we need to rush.
Okay. Calling you on your head.
Yeah, Mr. Sharma.
Yes.
I probably with all due respect. You're putting your foot in your mouth, you know. You just talk about legislation has to be put in place for in terms of hemp. It all come back to the Attorney General, right? Look, the sugar industry which this government closed, with all these estates and so on, they could have gone into hemp. But the Attorney General, as you saying, should have speed up the legislation so that the sugar workers will run in and strike it all for money and all of that.
Okay.
Them could be planting on those estates. Thank you.
Some of that
No, you see, as I indicated,
Yes,
it
yes.
have to be something that
Yeah,
is
yeah.
regulated and controlled. So it's not just putting it in the law. Is our security forces equipped to carry out this control? And do we have a system to ensure that it's properly regulated? These are the things, and not the Attorney General. The Attorney General may say, I could put up a piece of legislation. We have legislation that is decades old, hundreds of years old, but yet they have difficulty implementing them. And as the caller mentioned about Gaisuku, as you know, Parliament will be resuming on the 18th of October. President will be making his usual presentation where he will address the National Assembly as is his right under the Constitution of Guyana. He will put forward his plans for 2019 on his legislative agenda, and in that sitting of the Assembly, there will be a supplementary paper that will be put before the House for $2.451 billion, which to pay the sugar workers the severance pay, the balance of the severance pay.
Call you on your head.
Hi.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Yeah.
On a
Good.
point of interest, hemp and marijuana cannot plant on the same field.
Okay.
The cannabinoid is much more different. If you plant hemp with marijuana,
Okay.
the hemp is going to kill the marijuana. I think
Okay.
you should get your facts together before you elaborate on things that is a little too profound for you.
No, well, apparently it must be too profound for the Canadians.
Yes, Mr. Sharma.
Because
Yes.
why would they want to test the THC level?
You see, the whole concept.
No, you ask.
Listen, Mr. Sharma.
Please answer my
Please,
question.
I beg of you. The whole concept of hemp and marijuana is denial. There is something you call denial. And denial is when you said, look, I don't want this and I don't want that, but I want this and I want the other. Agriculture, hemp and marijuana is agriculture.
That's right.
Guyana does not teach our children agriculture. Guyana teach our children selective agriculture. If it was not selective agriculture, then hemp and marijuana would be studied, and every plant that the God Almighty has put on the face of the earth would be studied by our children in the school system. And when they leave school, Mr. Sharma, they all would be scientists of the earth, and they would not depend beef, pork, chicken, or anything for what they require,
Okay.
because they are part of the earth.
Okay.
Now, if we are teaching agriculture, and if we know the truth about agriculture, we would not allow rice to grow more than 3 years in one spot. We would not allow the farmers to grow food that we have to eat more than 2.5 years on the same land. We would give them fresh land, because what the food is giving us is how we are going to sustain our body. If the land is sour, then we are not going to get the food, the nutrients from the land, because the land is telling you it's sour.
Yeah.
So if you give it a rest and you get a fresh piece, then we're going to get all we zinc, we iron, we copper, we everything. Right now we are not getting anything. We are getting rice that is not useful, because the land does not have anything for the rice. So whoever it is that is dealing with agriculture, Mr. Sharma,
they are fooling the Guyanese people and they are denying the Guyanese children the truth so the Almighty give them.
Thank you very much.
Which is all the side, all the earth and everything.
Thank you very
They
much.
have been denied that, Mr. Sharma.
Okay.
Please look into that. And you would see that if eat the proper food, that vitamin that your body has required, you would not sick. And that is the reason why the whole of Guyana is sick, because you're eating something where they expect to get something from it, and then you take nothing.
Yeah.
Because all you're getting is fertilizer.
That's right. That's true. What I said, what you said is true. Jaipal, what do you
All right?
respond? Yes.
So you
Yes, yes.
No, the caller have a point, but he didn't answer my question. And so, why the Canadian government and other countries that that cultivate hemp would put a requirement in the legislation that it mustn't pass a certain THC? It's because of the fact that it's a possibility that these things could happen. You have to have monitoring mechanism. However, the caller is right in many other areas in relation to his discussion on your program. That look, agriculture and even hemp, and we should look at other plants and things in relation to agriculture. LFS Barnum, I think if the honorable panel member here, Hamilton Green, could probably tell us
That's right.
if he didn't carry out a study of hemp to see to do some checks and
Mr.
its
Green,
possibility in
what's your
Guyana.
comment, please?
Mr. Burnham organized a study for several crops. We discovered that hemp, like almost everything else, the different species, and one has to be careful to marry the native soil
Okay.
with what you're going to be producing and the particular environment. And what the caller fails to recognize is that you can't teach your children something
Okay.
unless you've already trained the teachers.
Yeah.
And that is not going to happen in 1, 2, or 3 years. You've got to go to the level of university, you've got to do research, experiments, lean and benefit from what has happened in other countries in similar circumstances. Which country has done research that has soil similar to ours? He talks about rotation of crops. That's a primitive way. That's what our ancestors did. You plant here on this acre, and then you move to another acre in another 6 months.
Yeah.
Those are primitive methods. We have methods now that will allow us to follow the earth, when to flood. That's what they did in sugar plantations during slavery. So to make optimum use of the land space you have. So it's not a simple question that can happen overnight. Studies are being done. We don't have enough people in the research. I was at Maripo the other day. We don't have people in the system. We've got to bring people in. And you don't want to enter into a new crop blindly without having all the factors. And what, I'll make a different point, if you
Yeah, go
forgive
ahead.
me.
Go ahead.
When we begin to produce crops like hemp and marijuana, what have you, you need the supportive mechanisms in the system so that our young people are not attracted to these easy hypes and raising their levels of what have you. One thing that I told American ambassadors once, if we spent enough money on sport, on culture, in time our young people will not be attracted to using drugs because their time will be consumed in playing basketball, football, cricket, chess, what have you. We haven't reached that status yet. And therefore, if you go to the ordinary communities, our young people, boys and girls, are attracted to people who bring them drugs, and the school has to, and the family must isolate itself from that attraction. It's not a simple matter.
But my question, Honorable Hamilton Green, is in relation to, could you remember where he had cultivated this experiment, where it was done and what acreages he had done, and
There were
what happened
parts-
to that report?
The mid-savannas and the Rupununi.
Mhm.
And again, we had a gentleman who came to us with some big ideas and robbed the system. He robbed Dr. Reed. I mean,
Was the report prepared?
no, I'm telling you, a full report was never prepared as far as I
How come you
remember.
robbed it, Dr. Reed?
Because
How come?
we wanted these new crops in the Rupununi.
Okay.
And this gentleman, who attended St. Stanislaus College, was
Yeah.
a by nature trickster.
Yeah.
Won't call his name because his
Yes,
brother
yes.
was a very eminent public
Yes,
servant.
yes.
And persuaded Dr. Reed when he was in agriculture
Okay.
to invest money in doing these things, bringing this body. But the fellow was a charlatan.
No, but what the caller said, Sienna, as you said,
Yes.
you know, fertilizer,
Yes,
using
yes,
fertilizer and
yes.
things like that is not good for your body.
Yeah,
So-
that's right.
And he said he could use rotation, and you know, the Honorable Hamilton Green mentioned about rotation,
Yeah.
intercropping. You could use so many mechanisms, or just have follow lands. And so even in Gaisuku, they had a number of lands that they put aside that they flooded and preparing. And so there's so many things that you could do in agriculture, but what we don't have in Guyana is the cooperation even of the farmers, even the rice farmers, even those that cultivated sugarcane, is that everyone wants to do the thing their way, right? So if you had to say we look at Essequibo and you said you want to do rotation in terms of rotation in the rice field, you wouldn't get every single rice farmer who's going to want to agree with the rotation, right? So, you could plant for 2-3 crops of rice, and then you go into planting cassava or something like that, and you allow the land to recover, and things like that. So if we do those things, it must be properly organized. And so I'm happy the caller is calling about that.
Okay.
And we must, rice may not have the nutritional content. It may not be good, as the caller say, because of the fertilizer.
Yeah, that's right.
But if we could say we're going organic,
Yeah.
the amount of money we will get for our rice and our crop will be, multiply that by 2 or 3, right? So even meat, even your dairy products. And so if you could say you're going organic beef and things like that, and we could promote that in Region 9. As you know, that is why we expended all that money in Region 9 to create the incubator. We have an incubator being constructed in Region 6, and we have suggestion of incubator will be completed in Region 10. Business incubator, that is. And I think only recently they turned the SAD for the incubator in Region 10. So we're doing much here, and what we're doing is to going out into the far-flung regions that the previous government forgetted and neglected, and to connect them to civilization, or you could say to Georgetown. So you connecting the hinterland with Georgetown, and you bridging the divide between the hinterland and the coastland. And this is one of our major achievements in our first 5 years, that we must allow the people that same opportunity that we in Georgetown enjoy. As I said, when I went to Region 8, I was, speechless to see that in Region 8 there's concrete drains and roads. And this thing is very well constructed. In Region 9, where they're building the incubator, you should see what is happening there. And, CN, because of your ill health and so on, and you're not going out with your cameras, we're not able to bring these
That's right.
images to the
That's
people.
true, that's true,
And I
that's
don't
true, yeah.
believe my government is doing what they should do to really sell themselves and the successes.
Oh, PR has to be-
we need
you're
to we really need to show the people what we're doing for them. And because the people in the interior know what we're doing for them, the people here say, no, we ain't doing nothing, we're wasting time, we're wasting money. And so we need to bring that image, show them what we're doing. Look, in Oriala for 23 years, they never had what we given them. And what we gave them was a water ambulance, fully equipped. And the people were so pleased that for 23 years they never saw, or 23 years of the PPP government, they never saw this. And here they have it. No, we didn't give them. Yeah, the PPP gave us a water can.
Yes, yes.
Compliments of Rohi.
Yes, yes.
The Honorable Minister Rohi gave us a water
Water
can.
can, yes, yes.
Matter of fact, I like that comparison, because the price for the water can was 20-something million Guyana dollars. And we gave the people in Oriala a working new water ambulance.
Brand new one.
Brand new.
Okay.
And guess what? It's the same price of the water can.
Okay.
So, the people of Oriala is very thankful, but this is what we're here for, is to provide for the entire country, not just the people in Georgetown, East Coast, West Coast, or Region 3, or the rest of the region 4 and
So
5 and 6.
Rohio what can could
but
not work.
also-
Rohio what can could not work.
It's a water cannon, but it ended up to be a water can.
Can, yes, that's right.
And when they had the issue with the